Anthony Adebayo.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo, and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sport.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B.
Yo. Scott, you got to come off mute.
Yeah, it always takes a second. No. It always like freezes for a second. It takes a second to come off and mute. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's going on, man? It's Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
Hey, man, you know who I am. Nah, that's your boy, Scotty B. You know I had to switch it up a little bit, right?
Yeah. No, so when what I've realized is that when we're out and about and we're doing off the record stuff, you're Scott Smith. When we're recording, you're Scotty B. It's like Superman and Clark Kent.
Hey, but I gotta figure out which identity.
Oh my God,
suits me better. So I gotta figure it out.
So I guess happy Thanksgiving, man. Happy Thanksgiving. I guess it's really not my place, but it's gonna be my place. To wish your parents a happy anniversary on this happy Thanksgiving. Today.
Say something about that, man. 43 years, bro.
God.
It's a long time, man. Long time.
Well, I want to say I don't play your dad this week in fantasy, but if I did, I would want to beat him down because and make his anniversary as great as possible with a beat down in fantasy, because the way that he be whooping on us in fantasy, like he ain't having that great of a year this year after he won it. After he won the championship. But wow, this man put me on blast. It's too early for this quiz.
Oh wow. You got an interest meeting coming up, don't you?
Have an interest meeting a week from today, next Thursday with the Royals. We got an interest meeting. So if you are interested in joining the Royals, you could show up to the interest meeting. We could talk about it and everything. But what's going on, man? We got it's sports going on this week. I mean today. It's sports going on today. We got the Lions and the Bears. We got the Cowboys and the Giants and the Dolphins and the Packers all today. I'm sure there's some NBA games coming on, but it's all about football, food and football, man. Food and football.
Yeah, man. Shoot, just got done watching the parade with my daughter, so the parade's on. And shoot, man, I figured I was like, you know what? We're gonna record, and I'm about to get to it. I'm about to get a cold one in one hand, get ready for some food, and watch some football, play some bets. You know, hey man, it's a good day, man. Really
absolutely. Good. So look, I'm in Florida, right? I'm in Florida. And they almost got me, Phil. I mean, I called you Phil. Scotty, they almost got me. I was like, yo, how am I going to play? I tried to go on DraftKings. I went on FanDuel, and they almost got me. But I remembered that Hard Rock Bet, Hard Rock Cafe or whatever it is, they have a betting app. So I was able to place my parlays there. So I got saved a little bit. So if you're in Florida and watching, just know you could use. They probably already know they could use Hard Rock Bet, and I ain't promoting them. They ain't paying us yet.
Right.
they don't give them free promotion. But
you know, that is annoying if you travel to a state and you can't bet.
Listen. People ask me, would you move to Texas? No, not until they get sports betting. If I can't place a parlay in your state, I'm not moving there. I'm sorry. It is what it is. So that brings go ahead.
So let me ask this, right? Because this is interesting. Do you think that betting has made sports better?
Absolutely. absolutely with 100 times better. And the reason why is because you have casuals that are locked in that start stat checking. People that normally wouldn't be analytical people have turned into analytical people. Like, because I hear somebody say, you know, they're 10-5, they're 10-5 or whatever against the spread after they play a division opponent. I'm like, what are you you know, so yeah, I think it's made the overall game, not of just football, but of sports, of watching and things like that. I think it's made it better.
Yeah, I even see now more women betting. Like than before. You know, when it first kind of started, you know, yeah, you have your hardcore fans, but I guess to your point, people started to realize how easy it is to look at the stats and figure out like, okay, this person, they're going to go over this or they're going to go under that, or it's easy to put away in there. So yeah, I've seen a lot more women gambling too, which, like I said, it's not surprising, but to your point, everybody is an expert on what you should be betting on now.
It's crazy, but man, I like it, man. I think that is cool. I think that again, people are they have their, you know, everybody has their vice, and now it's sports betting. I mean, I know people that are bet on badminton, or they'll bet on Japanese baseball, everything. So I think it's pretty good. So and that also leads me to my next question, right? So you have today, you know, you have the 3 football games, and you know, tomorrow on Black Friday, the
college games.
Well, you have the college games, and you have the Chiefs playing the Raiders. NFL's trying to
Prime, right?
Huh? It's on Prime, yeah. It's on Prime. Yeah. So that leads me to, I mean, we always talk about which is the best sports month, October or March, but what holiday is the best sports holiday of sports? Now I'll give you a couple, and I'll let you. So you got Thanksgiving with the football games, and I'll include Black Friday with Thanksgiving, right? So you have an extra football game plus the college football games that normally happen. I think it's Texas A&M, and some other games. Then, or you have Christmas where you have the 5 NBA games with a couple football games mixed in. Then you have I'll include New Year's Day, January 1st, where of course is Bowl Day. And you may have some NBA games those days. If you could think of any other holiday where they focus on sports, I think those are like the 3 major ones. What do you think is the best sports holiday?
So honestly, it's got to be Thanksgiving. I want to tell you. All right, so I personally like Christmas just because I like getting up, watching all the games, and they're normally good games. But for Thanksgiving, so right now football, we can agree that football is the most dominant sport in America, as far as like it dominates baseball, it dominates basketball, just anything. Football is like the most popular sport. With Thanksgiving, you're focused on football for the most popular sport. Got to give the edge to Thanksgiving.
Well, so here's the thing, though. They done took over, and they done took over Christmas too. If you think, go ahead.
But I think that even if you're not a football fan, every household football is going to be on. Every gathering in some corner, some room, the football game is going to be on. And maybe the person, you know, you've always got like the friend of a friend that will tell you, oh, yeah, I don't watch football, but they're tuned into that game. With basketball, I think like you have your basketball fans that are going to watch it, but I'm not sure that everybody is locked in on the actual game if you're not a fan.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I definitely get that. I know with basketball. I mean, I'm sorry, with Christmas, it was, basketball had that holiday on the chokehold, and I would like to see like the TV ratings for, let's say, 10 years ago, Christmas basketball versus Thanksgiving football, right? I will probably have to agree and say that Thanksgiving because of football. Football is so much more popular, and we all know that the Lions haven't been like the greatest, right? In our lifetime, the Lions haven't been that great. But now you have, and they always still have viewers at that 12 o'clock spot, which we'll be out of here before that happens, before the game starts. But we have football, and I definitely would like to see the TV ratings, but basketball can't compete with football, man. It's at this moment right now. I don't know what it'll take, but right now, basketball has to take a back seat to the NFL. So with that, I would have to agree with you and say Thanksgiving.
But you know what I will say about basketball is when Christmas comes along, most people, that's their first opportunity to kind of like focus on basketball. You know what I mean? As far as like they've been like super locked into football all year. And then, by that time, either their team is still in the running or not. So then now they can start and say, okay, what's been going on in the basketball season?
Right. Yeah. So when you have this man's got his camera. when you have games like, most of the time on Christmas with basketball, you're getting like marquee matchups. They're gonna make sure that their biggest stars are playing on Christmas. So you'll have, we've seen LeBron versus Kobe on Christmas, or Shaq versus Kobe on Christmas. We've had, Boston and Miami on Christmas. So what, you had the Lakers and Golden State on Christmas. So you're gonna see the stars. On Thanksgiving, you already know whether the Cowboys and Lions are good or bad, you're gonna see the Cowboys and Lions, right? I think last year they both were good, and the Lions lost. I think the Lions lost like 7 in a row. So they're motivated now. They have one of the best records in the league. They're the number one seed in the NFC, and they're trying to break that streak. So that's something they have added motivation for that. So there's some sort of storylines with basketball, and I'm just trying to make a comparison and possibly trying to sway myself. But basketball, you're always going to see the biggest stars, and there's going to be some sort of added storyline, right? So I forget. Do the Celtics play the Knicks this year?
I believe I got to look back to see, but I think so.
Yeah. So and we can look. It's just they're always going to. So I'm sorry. The Spurs play the Knicks this year. The Celtics play the Sixers, which, the Sixers stink this year, but, you have your storylines. Nuggets play the Suns. Again, you see it's stars in every game here. So Spurs and Knicks, you got Wemby, you got Cat, you got Jalen Brunson. 76ers and the Celtics, you got, of course, Tatum and Brown. You got Max, you got Embiid. The Nuggets, Suns, you got the Joker, KD. I wouldn't even say Bradley Beal, but Devin Booker. Timberwolves, Mavs is Ant and Luka. If Luka might not even be healthy enough, right. But you still have Kyrie, and then you got the Lakers, Warriors. We know who's all on those teams with LeBron and Steph and everybody else. So you got the pretty much the whole U.S. Olympic team playing on Christmas. Right, but then you look at, and I can almost guarantee you that this Cowboys Giants game is gonna have higher ratings than all of those games. And the Giants and Cowboys.
So let's go there, right? So it's been real interesting. So let's talk about the Giants, right? So right now, the Giants, they're a dumpster fire. They released Daniel Jones. He's with Minnesota backing up Sam Darnold now. You got Saquon Barkley that, in my opinion, I don't know if this is a popular opinion, should be an MVP consideration this year.
He should be the leading candidate for MVP.
Yeah, okay. So I think we could agree there. So you let him walk out the door. He's definitely improved the Philadelphia Eagles. And I know a lot of people didn't think that was a major pickup for the Eagles. And I think that he was out there listening to some of that chatter, and he came into this season with just motivation to just prove, like everybody proved the Giants that they made a mistake, to prove the Giants fan base that, you know, he was a good addition. Because I know, and this is me personally, and I know we know a lot of Giants fans. There was Giants fans out there that were like, yeah, Saquon could go.
Yep.
And I was like, what? And there was fans out there.
They trying to act like they wasn't. They were there. We don't need them. We don't need them.
Yeah, exactly. It was fan. Oh, yeah, he's injury prone anyway. Yeah, they agreed with the assessment to let him walk. And I think he heard all that, and his plan just, my God, he's just playing just lights out football.
He's over there creating moves that they had to add to the video game. Like, he's hurdling over people backwards, and they added it to the video game. It wasn't even on a video game, and he's doing things that's not on a video game. I mean, yeah. So I agree. I personally feel like the Giants are. I don't know what they're gonna do because you have a coach that's getting questioned by your number one pick. You have a quarterback. Well, you don't have a quarterback. Nobody believes in anything yet. Your O-line is hurt. Your defense is somewhat solid. Your defensive front is solid, but you don't have. I mean, if your offense is so bad, it doesn't matter what your defense is. So I think that I feel like this game is probably not going to be as entertaining, right? You would think Cowboys are probably going to run away with it. And then what's going to end up happening is going to be a really good game. It's not going to be a blowout. And the Cowboys will still win, but it's like, what in the world?
But let's go to the Cowboys, right? I don't necessarily think that it should be, the expectation should be that it's a runaway game. Now, if they had Dak Prescott, yeah, okay. But Cooper Rush, let's not forget, Cooper Rush is a backup quarterback too, right? So, and even though I like what the Cowboys did last week, I don't think like the expectation should be that the Cowboys should just win this game. I think I would bet on the Cowboys to win this game, just being that, you know, I think the Giants are just in a bad place as far as they're in their rebuild. But the Cowboys haven't exactly been that great this season either, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that game was crazy last week. If you don't know what we're talking about probably one of the craziest endings in football history. And I don't think that's like being a prisoner of the moment. I personally know I've never seen an ending like that in person ever. I don't know about you, Scotty, but it was, you know, and this is why I don't like going to games where I have a vested interest, because it was this, you know, terrible first half by both teams. It was super boring. And then that fourth quarter came and it was like, wow, this is crazy. So yeah, it was an emotional roller coaster, to say the least.
I thought that game was going to OT. Well, I didn't think, on the Commanders' last possession, I was like, you know what? They're not going to get this done. And when they had that long pass to McLaurin, I said, what in the world? But then he missed the field goal.
Then he
And
missed
I
it.
was with extra point. And I was like, what? And then they returned the onside kick back for a touchdown. It was crazy.
It was absolutely crazy. I think that but it could be one of those things that turns the season around for the Cowboys, which I know a lot of fans say we don't want to turn it around. We want to tank. We want to do all this. Me personally, I ain't gonna lie. I don't like seeing my team lose. I don't like tanking. The Cowboys have over $100 million in salary cap to spend this offseason coming up. So yes, you wanna get a high pick, but there's gonna be a lot of good free agents that's gonna be in the play. So I don't think you necessarily have to tank to try and get a high pick. Players
tank. I think
no, players don't tank. Players don't tank. Players don't.
It's a lot of guys on that field that are looking at, okay, how do I set my future up, right? You know what I mean? Like they're not going to stop playing hard because they want to ultimately like secure their future. Like right now, I can assure you that Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, McCarthy, even though he may not be there, they're looking at that team.
Willie. I mean,
he could if he makes a run,
mm-hmm.
which they obviously played good football last week. If he goes in, he beats the Giants, and they get hot, and they make a run, I think
mm-hmm.
he's got to be in consideration to keep his job. I don't think nobody else wants him to keep his job, but he's had a lot of injuries. And we make like we talk about everybody else, like we give them their little leeway when they have injuries. He did lose his starting quarterback, and there's been a lot of defensive injuries to where if he could figure out how to motivate that team, get the best out of them, and get hot at the right time,
mm-hmm.
I think he should be in consideration to keep his job. If he even wants it.
I'm not opposed to that, right? And I feel like, I mean, it's only 32 of them, so I'm sure he will want. It's not like anybody's like knocking down the door to get Mike McCarthy. So me personally, I wouldn't be mad if he was gone. I think that he's gonna be gone, but if he came back and got another offensive coordinator, another offensive mind in there, and we went and probably got somebody like Robert Saleh as the DC, I think that will help. But just think about this for a second. And it's not that far-fetched. So they beat the Giants. So right now the Cowboys are 4-7. I mean, right now the Cowboys are 4-7. If they beat the Giants, they go to 5-7. Then they have the Bengals that following Sunday, not on the 8th, I believe, or 10th, whatever day that is. Then they play the Panthers. The Bengals aren't unbeatable. Like we're not gonna act like the Bengals are unbeatable. And the Panthers are the Panthers. So the Cowboys could go on a stretch where they win 4 in a row. And so that would be something. If they had 7-7, it's game on, right? I would think that they would be in.
No, I think it's game more. I think it's game more, and I think it's possible, right? So you're talking about the Giants that they've got to start a quarterback that was possibly living in his parents' basement. I mean, it's the truth, right? You know what I mean? So they're starting.
You're right.
Yeah. So I'm not saying that's a shoo-in that they win, but today is a very winnable game for them. You go back to the Bengals. The last time I checked, the Bengals are 4-7 as well?
Yep.
Yeah, so the Bengals are 4-7. Outside of really Joe Burrow and Chase and Higgins, I mean, they haven't really been playing that well. And then again, to your point, you got the Panthers to where I do believe the Panthers are improving this year, but I mean it's a winnable game too.
I agree, man. It's gonna be one of those situations where if they go on a run, it's like, oh boy, here we go. And again, it's just like Tetris. You're gonna build you up just to knock you down because I think ultimately with the Cowboys, you're seeing a team that's not really going anywhere. Not this year, but you have those that cap flexibility next year. Then you'll see. So, all right. We have the Dolphins and the Packers, right? Which is that third game where a lot of people are full, and it's like, but this might actually be the best game. And there's a lot of storylines here as well because Tua doesn't play well. Well, I ain't gonna just say Tua. The Dolphins don't play well in the cold.
Yeah, and for that reason, I can get is the Green Bay. I heard a crazy statistic that if it's like minus 25 degrees, like Tua hasn't ever won a game in that type of weather. It's like, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I guess we'll leave it there. So anyway, what else you want to talk about, man? Because there's a lot to talk about, and I know we ain't got that much time.
So all right. So let's recap this, right? So we got the Lions and the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
The Bears have been playing better with their new offensive coordinator. Do you think that they have a shot to beat the Lions today?
I do think they have a shot to beat the Lions. Because Caleb Williams ain't a bad coach. I think he still, as much as people don't want to believe it, he still has an opportunity to win Rookie of the Year. And I feel like with Caleb, he's played well and he's put this team in position to win a number of times. They just decided that they don't want to win. They want to miss a field. They figured out a way to lose a game. The last, I guess, 3 weeks they lost like 5 or 6 in a row. But I mean, just think about it. The Commanders game that we were at, they had the Hail Mary. They had the lead. The Packers game, they were down 1. He put them in position to make the field goal. It got blocked. And then against Minnesota last week, they had an opportunity and they ruined it. So I think it's a division game, and let's not act like the Lions haven't lost 7 straight Thanksgiving games. So I definitely believe that the Lions could lose this game. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bears came out, and attacked these guys. So with that being said,
you still going Lions?
So look, and the Lions aren't wearing their throwbacks. They're wearing those all blue uniforms that are so dope. And I think that puts the Bears at a disadvantage. I really want to pick the Bears. I really do want to pick the Bears, but I'm gonna go with the Lions, man.
I might put some money on the Bears just because like they're the underdog. And if they win, not much money, but so it's something I want to talk about. And I know we don't have much time. Mm-hmm. So we have the Jets, right? And we didn't get a chance to talk about it. Yeah, we didn't get a chance to talk about this. So the owner, Woody Johnson, apparently went to everybody and was like, look, we need to bench Aaron Rodgers and go with Tyrod Taylor. Like, I've seen enough. Mm-hmm. Everybody ultimately defended Aaron Rodgers. Woody Johnson ultimately fired that GM, fired that coach, which, I mean, just for this, everybody just kind of understands this. When the owner is saying something, you got to execute on it, right? You got to go out there. You got to do whatever the owner is saying doing. Aaron Rodgers is not that important. Do you think the Jets are better off benching Aaron Rodgers and just preparing for the future?
I say give him one more game. I think once you're mathematically, I don't think they're mathematically eliminated. But I think that you take a hard look at how they play this weekend, and do they have a bye this weekend? I'm not sure.
No, they got to.
Oh yeah, they play the Seahawks. They play the Seahawks.
Last week.
So if they lose to the Seahawks for a 1 o'clock game at MetLife, it's time to make a change. I think you probably can make the change now, but I think at that point, what's the point of having them play? Because I would say you make the change. See how he does, but I mean, their quarterback of the future is not on their roster right now. So honestly, it really doesn't matter. But if you're trying to win some games, which they should have did, when they played the Cardinals, I think they played decent against the Colts last week. The Patriots, like game, 2, 3, 4 games ago, you probably should have made the switch if you were gonna make a switch. Like right now, I don't know if that's the right time to make a switch.
Nah, it makes sense. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be it's gonna be. I don't know how much money they owe him. I'm not really sure about that. I don't know his contract situation, but I do know that they have people in that building, like a Devontae Adams. He's at the end of his deal. So what does he do? What does he do? It's a lot with the Jets. Like you said it about the Giants, but the Jets are just as bad. The Jets are just as much of a dumpster fire as the Giants. Honestly, I don't know who's worse. It's crazy because I think Notre Dame beats both of them. I'm kidding. I'm joking. But it's gonna be intriguing, and we'll see. Let's talk about college football real quick, right? College football playoffs. College football last weekend was wild, right? You had Alabama lose again. Ole Miss, who I actually thought would make a run and go to the conference. I mean, not the conference championship, but the college football playoff championship. They lost to Florida. So you got a lot of things happening right now in the SEC. And the SEC is something that we need to talk about because I know everybody says, "Oh, the SEC this, the SEC that," and then they want to play victim of the SEC, saying that, well, Alabama lost, but they play the SEC team. Like, no, that doesn't matter. You win the games. So you have Georgia, you have Texas. Texas only lost one game. Texas lost to Georgia. So I don't know if you have 3 SEC teams in the playoff. I think you have Texas. I think you have Georgia.
I think what we're seeing is the pros of the transfer portal.
Yeah,
I think like right now, what we're seeing is the talent is starting to go elsewhere. And I think the expansion of the playoffs to a 12-team format is starting to get guys to play a little bit tougher. Because now I think before I like the 14 format. First of all, I like anything better than BCS, right? So I think the 14 format was a good format. But what happened with the 14 format is if you lost one game and you weren't like one of the big schools like Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia,
Right.
that game for you a lot, right?
Right.
But now you can still get in with 2 or 3. I don't know if you get in with 3 losses, but you can get in with 2 losses and you can still be like one of those mid-major schools. So teams know that, okay, yeah, every game on Saturday counts, but even if we do have a slip up, our season's not over. And then now you're starting to see more players that say, you know what, why should I sit at Alabama? I can go somewhere else, play, possibly still get the same exposure that I would get at Alabama, and I can go on with it. So I like it. I like the way that the direction college football is going in. I like it.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a damn good playoffs. I think this my sleeper team. I think it's kind of obvious who my sleeper team is. I just seeing Notre Dame play a few times this year. I think they have one of the best defenses in the league. They have a damn good running game. And if you have a good running game in college football, I mean, it opens up everything else for you. I mean, you can have a mediocre passing game and a good running game and a good defense or a great defense. And I mean, you pretty much do anything you want. That's the recipe for success in college football, in football in general. I mean, you know, you want to have an explosive passing attack, but if you can run the ball and stop people, you're going to win a whole lot of games. So I mean, that's what we're seeing with Notre Dame right now. I know people want to talk about their schedule, but if you look at it, they've beaten, I think them and Alabama have beaten the most teams that are bowl eligible this season. So, I mean, 5 of their wins are from teams that are bowl eligible. You know, so with that being said, I think that the college football is going to be, the playoff is going to be all right. So we getting ready to get out of here, but before we do, we got special guests. We got special guests, Scotty. We got and this guy is he's a friend of the show. He got some things cooking up, you know, entertainment wise. So, it's only right that we have our good friend Joe, a big dog. What's going on? I don't like the background, but
what's wrong? What's in the background? I can't see.
What up, big dog, man?
What's happening, fellas?
Not much, man. So you got some things cooking, and we'll talk about that at another time.
For sure.
The reason why you were invited here on this wonderful Thanksgiving is because we're all in the Madden group together. We're all in the Madden group together, and we take this pretty seriously. It's kind of taking over fantasy football. I mean, we love fantasy football, but it's one of those things. And I'll say you beat me earlier this year. Shouldn't have, but you did. A win is a win. You know, shouts out to you. But before we hit the record button on this good old show called Off the Record, there was a matchup between you and Scotty. Do you care to talk about that game?
Yeah, I was proud of the way my team played. My defense played lights out. I know Scott, I know it's Thanksgiving and everything, and but Scott's still gonna eat that mac and cheese and that turkey with the family. He gonna be all right.
So what happened? So obviously is you won, obviously.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of key things in that game. So
wait. What was the score?
The score was I believe it was 45-7.
God. How you gonna beat somebody like on the holidays? So hey, so just for and not to be funny, to make matters worse, it was a Thanksgiving game.
that was for my indigenous people. You know, we was we really the Redskins. You know that, so we did that to you know, to let people know that those were my peoples, man. That's all that was. It wasn't personal. Scotty's my guy.
Man,
You know,
there's nothing I can say about ass whooping like that. That was a ass whooping. I wouldn't even. By the time I clicked on the game, it was already 7-0. I was like, man, what is the team doing? And then I looked up.
Stingley had the fumble pickup and run it back. Yeah.
Yeah, then it was 21-0. So I was like, okay. It's like this is going real bad. Then we scored, had a little bit of hope, and then the onslaught just continued. But I will say this though. Big Dog, I'm glad that you're a guest on this show, but I am going to take every ounce of frustration that I have out on the Titans. And I am going to personally get my business to destroy their season.
And maybe that's what it was, Scott.
Yeah. Jaguars, if you're listening, you're out there. This game is behind us. But I swear, we need to do everything in our power to ensure that the Titans do not have a pleasant rest of the season. We got 2 more games. You know, typically I would say that we'll split those games, but I'm trying to get the Titans out of there.
Where is that game? Is it in Florida or is it in Tennessee?
Well, we haven't played yet.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, we haven't played yet. But
everybody that wants to know, I'm using the Titans. Scott has the Jags, and Joe has the Commanders, and we have 7 other guys in the league as well. They'll probably see this video, and you see what happened. Scott blacked out. That's what's gonna happen in real. I'm gonna let him have his moment, because after that scraping that had before we logged in off the record, I'm gonna allow my guy to express his frustration. I will say I'm gonna get some horns for Scotty, because he was a true professional doing the show today. Let's get some because I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I wanted to see it crash out. I wanted to see my guy crash out, so I could reel him back in and let him know that he is somebody in but he was a true professional, as I expect. Yeah, man, we're gonna keep y'all updated on our Madden League. We just added a new guy. I got Mike White. Joe hasn't seen him. He thinks he's a ghost. I
think that's another player in our league.
All right. I'm not here for conspiracy theories. But yeah. So anyway, I know again, Joe got some things cooking up in the background. I can't wait to have you on it so you could talk about it and you could debut it and talk about it all, fully, and let people wait. They just gotta wait and see.
Yes, sir. I gotta have you off the record guys on there first to make it legit. Since y'all got all this credibility here and run the internet, so
we trying, man. We trying, man. So real quick, you got any picks for today's games?
Man, I don't even know who playing today. I'm so distraught with my team right now. So
you know what? We just talked about that game. Scott and I was at the game. So Scott can tell you of the emotional roller coaster that happened at that time. What were your feelings in that last 3 minutes of that fourth quarter?
It was the same. It was the same thing that y'all felt. I know y'all were on that roller coaster high for a second, and then when Scary Terry caught that pass and took it to the house, I was running through the house screaming, and lo and behold, the kicker. I was like, yeah, overtime at least. So we got a chance, but.
So would you have gone for 2? Because that was a question.
That was the first thing that I screamed. I said, "Go!" I don't want to go. I don't want to go into overtime. Cooper Rush is we ain't been able to get to him. So he been lucky. So go for 2. That's what I would have did. But hey, that's why I coach in Madden and not on Sundays.
Hey man, all right, well. Yeah, it was crazy. Again, one of the wildest endings. Was the wildest ending I've ever seen in real life. And I know people don't want to admit it, but that's one of the wildest endings ever. Cowboys in Washington. I ain't gonna say their name. Cowboys in Washington have had some wild endings. Most of the time. Is the Commanders on the right side of that, but
yeah,
there's a question for you, dog.
Yeah,
did that loss hurt more than a Madden loss?
Yes, that loss hurt. That loss, that's right. It definitely did. Who we lost to? Come on, that was a Cowboy team without Dak Prescott on it.
Or Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah, it was a lot of y'all missing a lot of pieces to the puzzle.
It was $100 million in players that,
and we lost. I mean, that one hurt a lot. Like I'm not over it yet. I'm not. How people say get over it next game. No, I'm not over it.
Big dog. Let me tell you this, right? I want to tell you how petty this guy is. So after the game, we're walking through the parking lot. And him and our good friend Jamal are going up to the Commanders fans and saying, "Hey man, good guy, good game." I want to tell you, those good games,
hey,
then hey, fuck you, y'all suck, or whatever you want to say. Those fans were mad. I mean, it was a guy. Hey, look, they told this guy, good guy, he was getting in his car. This guy got out of his car, walked us down. I mean, it had to be a good 10 car lengths. It was like, nah, you ain't gonna do that to me. You ain't gonna just do that. I was.
Let me tell you. So that was Xavier's first game. That was Xavier's first ever NFL game that he's been to. And and we told these group of Commander fans, good game. And this girl was going off and said, you lucky little man is with y'all, or I don't want him to hear what I got to say. Yes, I was like, I had to say, all I said was good game.
Hey, that's why I say the same thing in Madden, man. Don't tell me good game after you done beat my head in.
Yeah. All right. Last question. Phil always got some daggone questions. Do I now believe in Cooper Rush? Do I believe in him? I think that he's a backup quarterback, and you're gonna get a bunch of ebbs and flows with him. You're not really gonna get a lot of consistency. Now, I will say this: he's played better each game that he started this year. He's played, the first game he came in against. I mean, he played against Philly, was absolutely terrible. Then the Texans game was better, but often it was a lot of dink and dunks. Last week was when we really saw them throw the ball down the field somewhat, more than 5 yards. I mean, he was just throwing 2-yard routes and swing passes. It was like embarrassing. So last week we saw him throw the ball down the field, whether it was off a play action. Now, if Rico Dowdle could continue to progress, I think that, again, there's things that could be done. The good thing is, and the Cowboys moving forward this season at least is gonna have to play kind of like how Pittsburgh plays, right? And we're starting to get the defensive guys back and be a little bit more healthy. I think the only person that we should be missing is DeMarcus Lawrence and some other role guys, but we should be getting Trayvon Diggs back, and Bland played last week. We got Micah back. So if we could play good defense somehow, some way, and take advantage of turnovers and things like that, I think we'll be fine. But I don't believe in that we should tank or lose games just to try and get a high draft pick. I mean, me personally, I take pride in not having a top 5 pick or top 10 pick, unless it's through a trade or something like that. So, nah, I mean, and we're going to have money next year. So, but yeah, do I believe in Cooper Rush? I mean, I don't have no choice. I don't have no choice.
Hey, can I jump off this real quick, Scotty? I made this new drink called wow. Scotty, I got this new drink. They call this Jaguar blood right here.
Wow.
Hey man, I can't even say anything. We're just gonna take all of our anger out on the Titans.
Yo, come on, man. You know what? We'll be ready.
Do that, Scotty. I hope you beat them 35-3.
I hate it here. All right, we get. All right, it's time to go. All right. Any final words, guys? Any final words for the people? Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, definitely happy Thanksgiving, and definitely shout out to my parents, man. Happy 43rd.
Definitely happy anniversary. Happy anniversary, Scott, to the parents.
Yep. All right, man. It's Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
Boy, Scotty B.
And that's Big Dog Pressure.
Hold on now. Wait a minute. Wait 1 minute. Who do you think? We gotta go, man. We out.
We off the record. Anthony Adebayo. We off the record.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes. You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo, and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5. We off the record.
We're different from any other sports.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B.
We off the record.